Recording in progress.
We'll talk. Okay, it's 5:30, and we'll call this meeting to order. I will ask our city clerk, Ms. Swoops, to call the roll.
Okay. And my understanding is Ms. Cordova will show up, but she's going to be a little late. So the next on the roll is Mr. DeWitt.
Here.
Okay. Mr. Merrick.
Here.
Ms. Ortega.
Here.
Mr. Rackler.
Here.
Mr. Self.
Here.
Ms. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Watkins.
Here.
And Mayor Davidson.
Here.
All right. We have a quorum.
Okay, I will ask Councilor Merrick to lead us in the invocation, followed by Councilor Smith with the Pledge of Allegiance and the salute to the New Mexico flag. And please stand if you're able.
Our Heavenly Father, we come before you thanking you so much for this beautiful day that you blessed us with. This is a reminder to us of why we live in this community, and it was beautiful outside today, and we just thank you for that. Lord, we just come before you tonight asking that you give us wisdom as we take on the decisions that affect this community and the surrounding area, and just help us to be wise in our decisions, help us to be prudent. And we thank you especially for the gift of your Son. We come to you thanking you for his coming to this earth and being a perfect example for us and living the life that he lived so that we might have a chance to return to you in heaven someday. Lord, just thank you for all the many blessings that you give each and every one of us each and every day. And it's through your Son's name we pray.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Okay, Ms. Mitchell, are there any guests attending remotely at this time?
We have Tim from Mitel, and we have Chase Hutter
Guys.
from Mitel.
Okay.
Veronica's running behind, she'll be on Zoom.
Okay, thank you so much. Welcome. First item is approval of the minutes of the March 3rd, 2026 meeting. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Okay, I've got a motion by Councilor Merrick, a second by Councilor Watkins to approve the minutes of the March 3rd, 2026 meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries and the minutes are approved. Next up, public comment. The public may address the city, address the council on city business during the public comment period. Speakers must sign in prior to the meeting. Up to 6 speakers per topic will be allowed, with each speaker limited to 3 minutes unless the mayor or a councilor requests clarification. Please state your name for the record before you begin, and your time will start when you do. To comply with the Open Meetings Act, council will not respond or engage in dialogue during public comment and cannot discuss or take action on items not listed on the agenda. Please direct all remarks to the chair. Speakers are allowed to follow or asked to follow the meeting procedures, so all speakers have the same opportunity to be heard, and speakers may be referred to the appropriate city department for follow-up. So tonight we have Colton Edgel, if you'd like to come forward, and we've got free speech concerns and AI tech answering machine. Floor is yours.
Hello, City Council. My name is Colton Edgel, as introduced by Mayor Mark Davison. I wanted to talk about 2 discussions. I don't know if I need to wrap those together or...
You got 3 minutes.
Okay. So the first thing, I'll do the short one first, is the AI answering machine thing. The one thing I wanted to address or bring up a concern with is that AI answering machines are typically really bad at any language beyond English. especially when it comes to Spanish, because it's really hard for AI answering machines to differentiate between Mexican, Cuban, Ecuadorian, Honduran, all the different types of Spanish. And sometimes it even confuses Spanish with Portuguese, and I wanted to make sure that that was something that was addressed, because I know that that discussion was tabled for next meeting for a demonstration. I wasn't sure how the demonstration was done. I didn't go read the packet yet and know if the demonstration today or not. And I would like that to be like addressed during the demonstration. Beyond that, the free speech concerns I wanted to bring up and talk about were, last meeting, Scott Mitten brought up what the city should do when two different groups of people apply for a permit for the same location. I feel like the conversation got derailed almost immediately. Conversation very much drifted away from what should we do, what happens when two groups apply for a permit, to what are the safety concerns of people protesting on the square, if it's possible to move them or not. And I feel like that is an affront to the idea of free speech and like what it should be about and what the conversation was about. I am not certain of the specifics, but I would have thought that would have been an Open Meetings Act violation, considering that was a conversation that was not on topic. And I'm actually quite shameful for some of the discussion that was had. I do, as a free speech absolutist, believe there shouldn't be any limits regarding when it comes to safety concerns of distracted driving or people who are littering. Those are laws. We should enforce those laws. If the protesters are littering, fine them. If people are distracted while driving, give them a ticket or citation or whatever. When it comes to trying to like potentially move them or tell them no, yes, hey, go here, go there, I feel like that is something that is beyond the scope of the powers of the city to be able to do, and beyond the scope of the powers of anybody within the U.S. as a whole to do. And that is all I'd like to say.
Okay, thank you, Colt. Sabrina Griffin, local protest.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Griffin. I've been a lifetime citizen of Portales. Born and raised here. And following along with Colton, we want to address the city for multiple reasons. I'd like to say first off, thank you, Danielle, for all the hard work you do, taking care of all of our requests. I agree that the discussion was completely derailed last time. So I want to just touch on some of the topics that were spoken of. Safety in general. We've had no incidents, no accidents or injuries at protests, south side or otherwise. Group size, we've never reached any type of overwhelming proportions that would even come near the safe trick-or-treats or the Christmas parades. Sanitation and trash, our group always brings receptacles. We always do a walk afterwards and make sure our trash is picked up. We leave it better than it was before. If we see someone else's trash, we pick that up as well. Restrooms, our group has an agreement with one of the local businesses, so we're not having to address any of the other businesses for restroom access. Traffic control, I'm not sure why that was brought up at the last meeting. There's never been any type of traffic issues. State noise restrictions on the highway, according to Justia and New Mexico statutes and city ordinances. Noise violations refer to jake brakes, mufflers, emissions, etc., or to noises, quote, of such character, intensity, or duration as to be detrimental to the repose, life, or health of others. So obviously, our protests are irrelevant as far as noise restrictions. Liability. The mayor voiced concern regarding liability for distracted driving. Drivers' inattentiveness is not the responsibility of the people at the protests, nor is it the city's responsibility. Drivers are by law solely responsible for their own driving. And if they are inattentive or not, that's on them. And this goes hand in hand with why we chose the south side of the square, for safety purposes. Our location is at a stoplight. People are slowing down for that stoplight. They're slowing down for the businesses in the area. They're slowing down for people that are crossing the street for the restaurants. They are having to slow down instead of speeding up, leaving a stoplight. So our location was chosen deliberately for the safety aspect. Business interference was brought up, and I think it's kind of funny because the act of counter-protest has become very popular for Portales. People are going and supporting the businesses during our protests as their little counter against us. And I love that. I love that they are speaking their mind by going to those businesses and using their services.
Time is over.
All right, thank you. So I appreciate you and have a wonderful day.
Okay. Patricia, Westerfield.
I just want to, my name is Patricia Westerfield. I'm a relatively new resident of Portales, just a little over a year, and I love this place, and I love the people. And I have found some people that I intentionally agree with. And I just wanted to remind everybody that there is freedom of assembly in the United States, according to our Constitution. And I think we should keep that in mind. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Patricia. Sydney Covington?
Hi, my name is Sydney Covington. I am a student here at ENMU. And as a young person in this community, I would just like to say that the protests are very helpful. Being a part of the community, I think it's really hard to get integrated into Portales, especially for someone from Albuquerque. It's harder to adjust to this small town. And I think Rural Resistance and the protests are really a great place for people to meet and be a part of the community. And as other people have said before me, we are not breaking any laws. We are on the street. We're not on the street. Sorry, that's not what I'm saying. We're on the sidewalk. We are not on the street. We are not blocking businesses. We are not using the restrooms. We are peaceful. We've had people come up, say real rude stuff, real stuff that like most people would fight back at, and we don't. We keep it very peaceful. It's our First Amendment right to assembly. We get the permits just to play nice with everyone. And as someone who's like really worried about, you know, the government, locally, state, federally, I think blocking the protests from happening is a really scary ordeal, especially to young people like me, and I highly encourage you guys to think about it and continue letting us. Thank you.
Okay, we appreciate all your comments. Tonight, we want to recognize the following employee milestones. With Edward Brooks, 25 years with the Community Services Department. Lieutenant Artie James, 10 years with the Fire Department. And firefighter Hector Garcia, 5 years with the Fire Department. I'm going to ask you all to come down here, please. Start with Artie. No, Edward. Make sure I get this right, or somebody's retired 20 years early.
Right on.
Appreciate your service to the city, and I'd like to present you this and a 25-year pin. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Sure. Okay, and are you Artie? Okay, so we have Artie James with 10 years with the City of Portales Fire Department. So, there you go. There's that. You wanted that 25-year pin, didn't you? Hector Garcia, 5 years for service to the City of Portales Fire Department, and 5-year pin. And we do thank you so much for your service. I'm going to call Chief Cathy up here to take the next one. On behalf of the governing body and the citizens of Portales, we thank you guys for everything that you do. So,
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We have another successful success story as he walks up. Firefighter Luke Wisniewski has earned his PFD Paramedic Challenge Point by completing the 1,600-hour paramedic program at EWU Roswell, including class 9 clinicals, paramedic internship, and state testing. He returned to our department in 2022 with his EMT intermediate license and now has earned his paramedic. And we're thankful for him and all the sacrifices that he and his family made for that tremendous amount of training. So, thank you, Luke.
Thank you so much. So, City Manager Mitten brings before us a discussion item regarding Ordinance 393, referencing NMSA 1978, Sections 313.1, concerning the city manager's pursuit of grants. And Mr. Mitten, you have the floor.
Mayor, City Council, thank you. If you remember, a couple of months ago, we brought up a concept where we felt like we were missing opportunities for funding because the norm in the city was to seek city council approval before applying for grants. Now, the situation was very often the grants would come up on a NOFO, Notice of Funding Opportunity, in very short notice, and if we didn't have the time to get it on the agenda, we would not be able to apply for that grant. Therefore, we would possibly, most often, miss the opportunity for that funding. So I brought before the council a discussion item then that we would take a look at changing an ordinance if necessary, imposing a resolution if necessary, but in any other means seeking permission as a city manager to pursue grants in lieu of specific permission from the city council to pursue those. So we agreed that we would look into it, and we did, and upon research, we found that really it wasn't necessary for the city, specifically the city manager, me or someone else, to seek permission to pursue and apply for a grant, because pursuing and applying for a grant does not lock the city into being committed to the grant, matching funds, obligations, and loan agreements and things like that. It just allows you to pursue the grant, and then if awarded, the grant is awarded via award offer, and then the city council then weighs in and votes by majority vote to accept it or deny it. So what I wanted to just bring to you for awareness and possibly discussion is that a city manager, not specifically me, but any city manager appointed in that position by the city council has the authority by New Mexico law and city ordinance to pursue grants on behalf of the city in pursuit of things that are good for the city as part of his or her administrative duties. That being said, is there any discussion or questions that would like to be open on this topic?
Is there any further discussion from council?
Mr. Mayor, oh, go ahead. Are you, go ahead. Okay, I have two questions really quickly.
Sure.
On page 3 of the briefing paper, under recommendations, it says mandatory reporting to the city council on all applications. So just for clarification, that means that you're not going to wait until we're about to be possibly awarded one before you bring it to council. You'll keep us updated, say, hey, we're applying for this one, hey, we're applying for this one. So we're going to always be updated even when you're going to start to apply for one.
Well, you might be notified after the fact.
Okay.
So, and let me explain that. We get a notice of funding opportunity on the 29th, and the deadline is on the 1st. That probably wouldn't apply except every 4 years in February, so that may be that example. But, so the 28th, okay. But we would have to get that in there, apply for it, and then I would let the city council know at the first opportunity, hey, we applied for this grant, and you'll see something about that.
No, that's
But that comes under
fantastic.
the job description, transparency, and keeping city council informed.
Sure, I'm not looking to be told before you do it, just that when you're pursuing something would be
Yeah.
great. And then my only other question, I noticed you said something about having a tracking system to monitor pursuits and awards, which I think is fantastic because one thing I was going to ask the mayor and the city staff if we have anything where, because I'm a very visual person, I like seeing everything laid out. You talked about using the conference room as a place to kind of keep things updated where everybody kind of knows what's going on, I think, but, and correct me if I'm wrong about that. But would there be a way of somewhere where we can go to track the progress of where the applications are, completion and that sort of thing? Or is the best way to find that as in the city council meetings?
We're talking about two different worlds right now, one like today and one in the future, right? So
Okay.
the city is working diligently on project management software and SharePoint type functionality and software and whatnot. So we're making great strides in that. So yes, under all projects, it'll be an inward facing, it won't necessarily be outward facing because a lot of these things are conceptual, but when they're live, they'll be accessible to the public under transparency. But for projects, project management pursuits, yeah, they're going on SharePoint. And we're also restructuring the entire conference room inside the city hall. You've seen some of that, to where it's completely working room. So we have some more ADP, advanced data processing equipment that's coming in there to allow us to do that more efficiently, but also track projects of all kinds, not just grant pursuits, but physical projects, construction, life cycle management, and different things like that. So yes and yes, or well, no and yes. No today, right now, you're not gonna be able to see that, but say, 60 days or so, you're gonna be pretty much done.
Fantastic, thank you.
Yeah, I just had a comment. I know in my time here, there's been a couple of times we've had to try to ask for an extension on something because of this situation, and a couple of times we've missed things. So I just wanted to say I'm totally for it. I think we don't want to miss any funding opportunity that you feel is appropriate. So I just wanted to make sure.
It didn't seem like it made sense when I came on board.
Absolutely.
We literally missed 2 or 3 grants because we didn't have time to put, we missed the opportunity to pursue them, let's put it like that, because of gaps in timing and OMA and things like that.
Any questions this way? Okay. Well, no further discussion. We will move to action items.
I don't think I'm not done.
No, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. I believe Finance Department, action item 1 would be Ms. Rivera. You're putting out fires everywhere, aren't you?
Just a little bit. Budget adjustments again.
Okay.
Okay. So these were brought before the finance committee, I believe, at our February 25th meeting, so it's been a little bit. So same summary, I'm not going to go over all of them because there are 2 pages of budget adjustments for all the different funds. And you'll see that in your packet. I'm not certain what page number it is, but it is the one with the entire list on it. Okay. We have several adjustments in our general fund, driven mainly by new revenues and required allocations. We received some insurance reimbursements, which must be recorded so that we can apply to the appropriate expenditure. Increased interest income, our interest earnings came in higher than originally budgeted, which is great news. Because of this additional revenue, we're able to increase appropriations for operating needs without impacting any reserves. We had a transfer to our municipal streets from general fund. This is from general fund to municipal street fund to support engineering expenditures for some projects. And we'll just see that transfer from the general fund into the municipal streets fund. We have quite a bit of budget adjustments you'll see on there to our other special revenue fund, which that is primarily our PATS, and that stands for Portales Area Transit. So this fund was significantly decreased in our funding for fiscal year 26. So it required us to scale down our associated expenditures in that fund. And then we have some capital projects budget adjustments. These adjustments do 2 things. They recognize the grant revenues primarily, and then the corresponding expenditures in those grants. So you'll see expenditures in buildings and structures, equipment and machinery, and then contracted services for required capital improvements. And then our water department, within the water enterprise fund, we're adjusting our utility service revenues, which came in higher also than budgeted, and then corresponding expenditures for equipment, some units, and operating costs. And then finally, in our solid waste, for making a budget adjustment for an approved reauthorization of a garbage truck, and that came before you, I believe, a couple months ago, supported by a state grant. And in closing, I will stand for any questions on budget adjustments.
Okay, let me play catch up. Better late than never. I failed to even read what this was about. So this is the governing body's consideration and approval of Resolution 2026-10 for fiscal year 2026 quarter 4 budget adjustments. So are there any questions from council for Ms. Rivera? Nope, all good. The chair will entertain a motion regarding Resolution 2026-10.
I will make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion by Counselor Self, second by Counselor Merrick to approve Resolution 2026-10 for fiscal year 2026 quarter 4 budget adjustments. Is there any further discussion? Okay, this item involves city finances. Ms. Swopes, will you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. I was pausing to check to see if Ms. Cordova has showed up.
She has not.
She has not, okay. So we will go to Mr. DeWitt.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Merrick,
Yes.
Ms. Ortega,
Yes.
Mr. Rackler,
Yes.
Mr. Self,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
and Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
It's a majority of 7-4, so it passes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rivera. We have Water Department Action Item 1, Governing Bodies Consideration and Approval of Resolution 2026-11 for the WPF Loan Grant Agreement with New Mexico Finance Authority for the design, construction, and rehabilitation of a 3 million gallon storage system and a booster station. You got to have some mercy on me, man. Those are some long descriptions.
I was about to say all of that in my presentation, but.
Okay. Thank you.
So I do come before you to ask for approval for resolution 2026-11 in reference to Water Project Fund, WPF 6596. It's a grant amount of $4,231,569 with a loan amount of $470,174 with a local match of $794,425 for a total amount for this project $5,496,168. And what this will cover is basically the start of the construction for the rehab of the Lime Street tank. And the Lime Street tank, as you know, we need to get that online prior to new water coming, with the expectation of being here by 2030, 2031. If we get this approved tonight, it'll be our very first step in getting that accomplished. Any questions?
Okay, are there any questions from council on this?
The only question I had was in the matching funds that we come up with, there's a 0.0625% of GRT that's part of the GRT we're already receiving, that's just going to be dedicated to this
That's the one
repayment.
that we pledged for.
Yes. That's what I was thinking. I just wanted to make that clear.
Okay, the chair will entertain a motion regarding Resolution 2026-11.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion by Counselor Rackler and a second by Counselor Merrick to approve Resolution 2026-11 for the NMFA WPF Loan Grant Agreement for a 3 million gallon storage system and booster station. Is there any further discussion? Okay, this item involves financial matters. Ms. Swopes, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Mr. DeWitt,
Yes.
Mr. Merrick,
Yes.
Ms. Ortega,
Yes.
Mr. Rackler,
Yes.
Mr. South,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
All present are in favor. It passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you, Pat. Next up, we have Community Services Department, Action Item 1. We have a public hearing regarding the governing body's consideration of adopting Ordinance 777, repealing and replacing Ordinance 663 for the correction of building permit fees, building codes, and clarification of dangerous building structure or premise abatement procedures. And this will be Ms. McClellan. And at this time, I will open the public hearing regarding Ordinance 777. Ms. McClellan, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So I'm gonna go over this, we've gone over it a little bit, we had it for 30 days, but I'm still gonna briefly go over it, mostly for the record, and if you guys have any questions. So the draft I brought in 30 days ago, I beat a lot of you, talked to a lot of you on the phone or on email. There were no amendments that changed anything of substance, just a few wording things. So at the very end, I'll go over just the small words that were changed. And my request would be approval for this with those amendments included. But the ordinance itself is pretty simple. We're changing the permitting to match how we actually do our permit, which is through Clovis. This is still reflecting when councils do their own permits. So now this reflects that we contract with Clovis for that. The biggest changes, of course, are about the procedures to abate. So what this ordinance would do is we would bring you a property, we would have you declare it, you guys could declare it dangerous, a nuisance, compliant. You guys can choose to table it, or you can declare emergency action. And based on your declaration is how staff would move forward with this abatement. We would not bring it back after you guys have declared it. The property owner still has two abilities to appeal. They can appeal if you choose to declare it dangerous, they can appeal that decision to you, bring proof that it is not dangerous. If you maintain it as dangerous, then they can appeal to district court. And then you can take it to court for that appeal as well. So that are the biggest changes. We also added alternative abatement options. We've had people attempt to donate what we would consider dangerous properties. This makes that easier for the city to take it. It's less legal fees. We can move faster with the abatement. And it allows them to choose to do a voluntary lien, where they allow the city to do the work. We put the lien on, but we avoid all the legal steps. And only put a lien for the work we've actually done versus all the legal fees. The changes that were requested from council, as I said, were small. We changed it from 14 days to 14 calendar days. Tabling proposed resolution, we changed the wording to say it was a minimum of 30 days to the next applicable council meeting. So there's not a council meeting exactly on 30 days. We're not calling a special meeting. The other one was upon receipt of resolution, explaining how that we received them the resolution. So we added service, posting the property, certified mail, and newspaper publication or combination therefore of. And lastly, when it says emergency abatement, when it says the city will take whatever steps necessary, we said legal counsel review. So nothing big has changed, just small wording to clarify our process. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those for you.
Okay, is there anyone from the public wishing to speak regarding this item? Okay, seeing no one wish to speak, the public hearing is now closed. Council, we will now move to consideration of Ordinance 777. Is there a motion regarding Ordinance 777?
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Councilor Watkins, second by Councilor Merrick, to adopt Ordinance 777, repealing and replacing Ordinance 663 for the correction of building permit fees, building codes, and clarification of dangerous building structure or premise abatement. Is there any further discussion on this or questions for Ms. McClellan?
I just wanted to clarify if the motion was with those word changes requested by council.
Okay, as amended, okay. This is a legal item, so it'll be decided by roll call. Ms. Swopes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. DeWitt,
Yes.
Mr. Merrick,
Yes.
Ms. Ortega,
Yes.
Mr. Rackler,
Yes.
Mr. Self,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
and Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
All present are in favor. It is unanimous. It passes.
Okay. Next up, Police Department, action item 1, governing bodies consideration and approval of the mayor's signature on the Police Department's 2026 Law Enforcement Protection Fund, LEPF, application for fiscal year 27. Chief Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. So this is just an annual funding that the police department gets from the state. The funding is initiated by your insurance premiums that you pay on your house and vehicles. You may see the charge in there on those, but the state does the distributions on these. We get it based on our compliance with training and reporting and things like that. And it's just money given to the city for compliance based on our number of officers and as well as a base amount. And it just requires your signature, and there's no funding from the city.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Are there any questions from council? The chair will entertain a motion regarding the LEPF application for fiscal year 27.
So move for approval?
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion by Counselor Smith, second by Counselor DeWitt, to approve the mayor's signature on the Police Department's 2026 Law Enforcement Protection Fund, LEPF, application for fiscal year 27. Any further discussion? Okay, and this will be a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay, motion carries. Got Police Department action item 2, governing bodies consideration and approval of the intent to adopt ordinance 778 regarding off-highway vehicle use within the city of Portales. Chief?
Yes, sir. Thank you again. Okay, so this is an ordinance we started last year, and we're waiting until we got the council on board before we put it here. This has been before Public Safety Committee and was recommended to proceed. Ms. Rudd had also had a chance to red pen this. You'll see in your copy that you've been provided, what's in red is from her. This is a very simple ordinance because we either need to have an ordinance that allows and permits certain use of off-highway vehicles in town, or we don't, and then we just start enforcing it because we really haven't been due to the university and even the city staff utilizing these off-highway vehicles on city streets for different things. So at this point in time, I'm just asking for you to approve the intent so that we can have a public hearing on this. And in the meantime, I can take any input you all may have and try to come up with something for you.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Are there any questions from council?
I did.
Counselor Merrick?
I'm asking this because I don't know whether it's going to create an issue or not, but if you were to specify that these vehicles could be used on every road in Portales except for Highway 70 going through town?
All state highways.
Okay,
So we have 70 going through town, we have 206 that starts at First and goes south, 88, which is Third Street from, technically it comes Abilene down to Third, and then out of town, Fir and Spruce, all of those. We can't change that, that's state law that says that can only cross those.
Those were my concerns. I don't have as much problem with them using. Now, some of the, like Eastern, whenever they cross from across where the football field is and have to go back to where their facility is, they're going to be on 70 there. There's hardly any way to cross that without doing that. So,
They can cross it at University there.
right.
That's as close as it-
But that, that's the least amount of actual state or federal highway that they would be on during that.
Yes, sir.
So, and then anything else would just be crossing over it, not going down.
Correct.
And that would be outlined and stipulated in the ordinance.
It's already part of state law, so we can further outline it if that's what you all want, but state law already prohibits the use on highways. They are only allowed to cross by state law. And that's really the gist of this is we either, and because I really don't care one way or the other which way we go with this, we can either say no now and just say we're not gonna allow them at all, and we start doing the enforcement, or we can put some provisions that you all choose to put in there, and we enforce it that way. So, like I said, I got you just the most simple, basic part of this, and then some things that we'll have to do is if you wanna impose speed limits if we proceed with this, and what kind of fines that you would like to have with this, if we go. But we can't change the state law, and it's already got a lot of those restrictions in it.
There was only one other thing that I saw in there that might create an issue, and that was in part of the vehicle descriptions, it said 1,000 cc or less. And if there was any vehicles that come out with, I mean, right now, they're pretty much 1,000 cc. But there could be an upgrade to a vehicle that would be, 1,050 or something.
Right.
That would nullify that, so.
Right, and those are state definitions of those vehicles, and I looked it up, and so like your gas-powered golf carts
Right.
fall under a different category. They're covered under a different statute. And so it covers those ones that are less, and they're based on speed and some other things like that. But there's a statute that specifically covers those, unless you all want to add that to this ordinance, and we can restrict those if you choose to proceed with the ordinance. So,
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I just want to make sure, you know, you and I have discussed it, but my chief concern right now is and in my generation, they were called mini bikes. The little bikes with a lawnmower engine on them. That's, I don't know what else you call them, but a mini bike. But those things are running up and down my street, I've seen them running up and down the Dora Highway from Ace Hardware to the grocery store with 6-year-olds on the back with no helmet. So that part I really want to clean up. I have no problem with the bigger ATVs that are licensed and whatnot, but those little bikes and somebody's going to get hurt.
and those are covered under the.
So I know it's all in there, and we'll talk more about it when we hash it out. But those things are scaring me. They're getting worse and worse.
So, to clarify, you're saying there's verbiage in there for the off-road vehicles that are super loud that would cause a nuisance? I mean, would that be addressed?
If that's what you all choose to have me add to it, so. I'm just bringing you the template, you tell me what to put in there, and I will make it happen.
And we've got the 30 days to work on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think one we really have to focus on is the lighting, because some of them are just really so dark, and a lot of the streets don't have much light, and you can't see them, and if, God forbid, one of them gets hit, it's gonna be the driver's fault. I mean, more than, and
And to the alternate of that is you can have too much
Mhm.
as well.
Yes.
yeah.
The speed, some of them,
Yeah.
they're going over the speed limit.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I would recommend that if you choose to proceed with the ordinance, that you do set some type of a speed limit on them. These things are designed to be off-road, not on asphalt, so their stopping distance is greatly increased compared to a regular motor vehicle. They don't typically have your ABS, automatic braking systems, or anything else. So, I mean, there's a lot of different considerations, and I'll sit and discuss a lot of them, any of them with you all as you choose.
And some of them I've seen carrying pipe on top, 10, 15, 20-foot lengths on them going down the highways, and do they have license plates registered with the state, or are they just?
Yes, so when you register one, you can get a license, you'll get a license plate, and you can get a sticker that you can permanently affix. I would recommend that it would be positive to put in the ordinance that the license plate be affixed to the rear of the vehicle. For it's visible.
Required.
Or something through the city, an annual fee.
You
It wouldn't
still have
raise
to-
that much money, but it just,
A lot of the state requirements are that you have them registered already. So we can just further impose that you have to have that license plate affixed to the rear of the vehicle. It has to be current. Because these are, like I said, these are all state things. Like they have to have a spark arrestor on them. They have to have insurance, all that. But if you want them specified again, we can easily do that in the ordinance.
age,
Age is covered. You can go more extreme if you wish.
And tell me again, what's the alternative if we vote it down? How are you gonna enforce it? What's the?
If you guys decide that we don't have an ordinance for it, then they're not allowed at all in the city. In fact, as of today, everyone that's out there is not legal because state law requires that if we're going to allow it, we have to have an ordinance to allow it,
Even if they have a license plate?
even if they have a license plate.
Any other further questions from council?
Thank you.
The chair will entertain a motion regarding the intent to adopt ordinance 778.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilor Rackler, second by Councilor Ortega, to approve the intent to adopt ordinance 778 regarding off-highway vehicle use within the city of Portales. Any further discussion?
I just want to make it clear that there's going to be another meeting to compile all of the things that we need to go into it. It's not that we're accepting something as it is written.
That is correct. And since this is an intent to adopt, we'll take a voice vote on this. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Okay, the motion passes. City manager, item 1, governing bodies consideration and approval of a temporary legal services contract. Mr. Mitten.
I always like coming in and seeing the crowd. Thank you for being here, Mayor, City Council. The city needs legal representation as we continue to look for a new city attorney. A few weeks ago, we talked about a draft, moving forward with the draft contract and seeking legal representation as a bridging strategy, seeking firms or an attorney, something to that effect, that would get us from where we are today to hiring an on-board attorney. And we're continuing to do that, and we will do that. Through procurement and finance, we put out a solicitation for folks who are interested, or firms who are interested in doing that. Of those who answered, we moved forward in dialogue with the New Mexico Local Government Law Limited Liability Company out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, in your agenda packet, you see the contract that we've been working back and forth with the firm, and we'll refer to them as a contractor going forward. But the contract that we've kind of definitely negotiated to get to where we are today. You may see a small yellow space on that proposed contract where it's blank. That's because if we go forward with this particular contract, we will put in there, or finance will put on the effective day, which would be tomorrow, so that we no longer are uncovered legally. That doesn't mean that we're illegal, and it doesn't mean that we're not covered by the self-insurance fund and the community, et cetera. It just means that we don't have direct access to legal representation for things like resolutions, ordinances, contracts, et cetera, and we need to get there so the city can move forward with business as usual. So I know you've had time to review that, and this is where we are today, and we believe that this is a good and suffice contract that will meet the needs for the city. And we have already motioned to move forward with this a few weeks ago, so I stand before you for questions, comments, and looking for a green light to move forward. with this contract.
Okay, any questions from council regarding this? Okay, the chair will entertain a motion regarding the temporary legal services contract.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Rackler, second by Counselor Watkins to approve the temporary legal services contract. Is there any discussion on this matter? Okay, this item involves legal and financial matters. Ms. Swopes, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Mr. DeWitt,
Yes.
Mr. Merrick,
Yes.
Ms. Ortega,
Yes.
Mr. Rackler,
Yes.
Mr. Self,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
and Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
Of those present, they are unanimous in vote, and so it is approved.
Okay, for the city manager, item 2, virtual phone assistant, demonstration, display, and action with live representatives available. Mr. Minton?
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. 2 weeks ago, we brought before you an idea of supplementing, augmenting, and reinforcing the customer service of City Hall towards the residents by contracting with a firm so that we would have a virtual, automated answering service that was human-like in nature, et cetera, et cetera. And I appreciated Mr. Edgell's comments. It reminded me of a vacation I went on to Killarney, North Ireland. I went to Killarney, North Ireland as a honeymoon, and they were speaking English. And I couldn't understand a word they were saying. I have 2 master's degrees, almost finished a PhD, a bachelor's degree, and I tend to speak English pretty well. And I had no idea what they were saying. So there's no doubt in my mind that an automated device might have a little bit of trouble discerning a second language. Not very long after I got done with that gosh darn vacation, I found myself duck hunting, which I like to do, in a place called Merilou, Louisiana. Guess what they spoke there? English. And I had no idea what they were saying. No doubt in my mind that there are things that have trouble discerning languages, including myself speaking my native language and someone else speaking my native language. I had no idea what they were saying. But that reminded me of that, so I appreciate your comment. But when we brought this up the other day, 2 weeks ago, the council would motion that they would like more information about a virtual conversation assistant that would augment the city. So we do have some more data points, but one of the things that I think would be most efficient is one, to talk to the team, and we could give questions directly to them. And if it pleases the council, we can dial in and talk to one of these conversational or virtual conversation assistants. What say you?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Yes,
So
please.
Tim, would you mind kind of giving us some feedback, and we'll ask some questions?
You bet.
You can help answer?
Thank you for the opportunity to talk a little bit about it. What we are proposing is a system that is different from what we've been doing, in that today, your callers all have to listen through a tree. Dial for this, dial that, for that, dial the other. And it gets protracted for most users, and it's hard to use. Like for me, I don't have enough attention to stick with that most of the time. And so these new systems, we can train them or program them to answer more like a human and to be conversational. So we train them off of your website as part of the information, so they can be updated as soon as you update your website. And we can also give them all kinds of different rules. Just as you would train a receptionist, we can give it boundaries and guardrails that keep it from doing different things. By the way, with languages, we haven't tested this one yet, but I'm told that it will switch gears from one language to the other when it recognizes that you're speaking Spanish or Portuguese. But I haven't tested that myself.
So to remind the council, we're requesting an approval for a 90-day pilot of a virtual phone answering service. Now, this lends to Councilor Watkins' questions, can we try it for a certain amount of time? And so we propose doing that, and we're seeking permission to do that. And we believe this is going to be a very efficient service for the city, and we're doing it, it's basically pro bono to try it out, so we think that that's value added. Now, the residents expect the city of Portales to be reachable, responsive, and helpful whenever they call, whether it's during business hours, or after hours, weekends, or the other. The volume of phone calls that we get during work hours and even after is substantial. So people very often go to the phone tree, and this type of service is going to eliminate the phone tree, to where you actually have a conversation with a very personable voice on the other side of the phone. It's not just a phone tree, but it answers questions, takes messages, etc., and it is very helpful. If it would please the council, we would go ahead and dial one of these and go through a dialogue, if you will, with the device so we can hear that.
I would like to ask somebody, I'm sorry, I'm not the one to do it, but I would like to ask somebody that can speak Spanish to ask for, I'd like to get a permit for a meter for, you know, for my business or something, and I'd like to hear that.
Well, I'm not the person to do that.
Well, the other thing, the other caution I'll throw out on that is I'm not sure on the ones that you're calling that functionality has been enabled, but it could surely be something that we can turn on in a trial period.
Okay. I think it's pretty huge, important. That's.
Yeah, try it. I'd say try it. It may work. I didn't turn it on, so if it does it automatically.
I'm not sure which one I'm dialing.
have it enabled.
You're dialing.
No,
He said it might. He said it
Be
might.
specific on which Anna, I don't want to get in trouble with here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you hear this?
Yes. So far.
Real-Time Networks, this is Annie. I am an AI helper and can probably help you with whatever you need. How can I help you? You can speak to me normally as you would a live person.
Just want to say you might want to put it over there by the mic.
Annie, good afternoon. This is Scott. How are you?
Good afternoon, Scott. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How about you? What can I assist you with today?
I'm looking for the number to the restaurant. Do they have a restaurant there? Tim, help me. I don't know what you.
I see where you're... It sounds like there might be some confusion. Just to clarify, Real-Time Networks is a business phone system support company, so we don't handle anything related to restaurants. If you're looking for a specific restaurant, I'd recommend checking online or giving me a bit more detail so I can guide you better. Let me know.
Give her a service request. Tell her you have a problem with your phone system.
Oh, Annie, I have a problem with my phone system. How do I do a service request?
Got it, Scott. I can help you with that right now. Let's get a service request started for your phone system. I'll just need a few details to make sure everything's set up correctly. 1, can I get your full name, first and last?
Okay.
What company are you calling from? 3, what's the exact location or site where your issue is happening, city and address? 4, what's the best callback number for this specific issue? 5, is there a mobile number for text updates or should I use the
It's
same
a little
number?
scary.
6,
I can't remember 5
for
things.
ticket updates. 7, which phone system are you using? For example, Mitel, RingCentral, or Nexa. 8, can you give me a quick summary?
Give her a minute. She'll-
That's a very unusual
I already hung up.
package you took. I've never heard that one.
I'll create the ticket and get it dispatched to the tech team right away.
I can tell you, I already hung up, Tim. Long time ago.
I didn't bring a pencil, but what was the first one?
No worries, Scott. The first thing I need is your full name, first and last. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready, Andy. My first name is Scott. My last name is Mitten. What was the second question?
Thanks, Scott. The second question is, what company are you calling from?
The city of Portales.
Got it, City of Portales. Next, what's the exact location or site where the issue is happening? For example, the address or a specific office.
The city manager's office in the city of Portales City Hall. 925-406-9351.
Thanks. Is there a mobile number we can use for text updates, or should I use the same number?
Use the same number for text updates.
Got it. I'll use the same number for text updates. Next, what's the best email address for ticket updates?
SMITTEN@portalisnm.gov.
Thanks. So that's SMITTEN@PORTALESNM.gov, correct?
That's correct. Now, Annie, if I have trouble or if I can't answer this and my mother-in-law can, who speaks Spanish, can you talk to her in Spanish?
I appreciate you asking, Scott. Right now, I can only assist in English. If your mother-in-law needs help, you're welcome to translate, or I can guide you through everything step by step. Let me know how you'd like to proceed.
Okay, thanks. I think I have enough. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Scott. Just to confirm, we're almost done. Can I quickly grab the last few details about your phone system and issue? It'll only take a moment to wrap this up.
I appreciate that, Annie, but I need to go. Thank you.
No problem, Scott. Thanks for calling and have a great day.
She will generate a ticket with what she's got, by the way.
So, very intuitive, very interactive, very responsive, very clear on details, and from our research and if we go to it and we explain that we need a non-English speaking service, then we put that in as part of the checklist items that we need. So it's not just plug and play, i.e. we buy it and it's one and done. We have to kind of tell the service what we want out of it so they can put that in there. In this case, Annie is a representative of that, but we've called 2 or 3 different cities across the country that use a very similar service, a casino, a restaurant, that's where I got the restaurant idea, forgive me, and a few other things, and held several conversations doing this. I'm very confident that this will augment, assist the city, especially with non-emergency numbers. I have a hard time keeping people in communications and dispatch because of the volume of calls and things like that related to emergency and non-emergency. And these types of functions will help us, help the residents in the community. We've been messing with this for the last several weeks and firmly believe that we're on the right track by doing this. Subject to questions, comments, and interaction with Tim for sure.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Mitten, so if somebody wanted to call and just said, I just need to talk to somebody in the water department, will Annie connect them directly, or will Annie offer to solve their issue right
If
then?
you say anybody, I just need to talk to the water department, and we'll connect you with the water department.
Okay.
If you say you need to talk to Chris Mendoza, and we put Chris Mendoza's contact information in there, it'll call Chris first.
Okay.
If Chris doesn't answer, it will offer you to take a message in many cases. Now, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, but.
Basically, we can build it to do the coverage however you want. And what we'll do is we'll blend this system with the phone system, so that if a call doesn't get answered, it can be handled the way that it's done today when a call isn't answered.
So you don't really get to the end of a phone tree and there's nothing there. In the cases when I called and there was nothing there, or there was nobody to pick up, it asked if I wanted to leave a message. And that was the case at the casino and a restaurant in a city in California.
We like to build a default because it's just a matter of time till somebody asks something that cannot be answered. So we want to have a call out that it can go to as maybe where the calls are in today.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I just want to say, after giving it a lot of thought since our last talk about it, I'm fully on board with trying a trial, but I would ask the community to test it. I mean, if we're going to try the trial, we need you to test it. We need you to call and ask questions, and then when we have that next meeting, come and give us your feedback. Because if it doesn't help, we don't need to do it. We can keep listening to Judge Mitchell and go from there. So.
I think Judge Mitchell's out of the picture.
Okay. He wasn't the last time I called.
I think his voice has been fired.
Oh, man, sorry, bud.
But the great thing about a trial period as well is finding your gaps, right? So you try something out, the community, your help, residents come up forward, tell us, hey, I did this and it didn't work, so we work with the organization, say, this isn't working for us. What say you, what can you do?
And this would be geared to our city in the way it operates?
Yes,
It'll be custom fit to you guys.
Yeah.
And in fact, like what I would envision is have the receptionist answer and just say, City of Portales, how can I help you? And let people in a conversational way say what they're calling for and let it dispatch them appropriately.
Any other further questions over here?
I say give it a shot. We just need to get the Spanish on there.
Okay.
Portuguese.
Greek.
Will it start tomorrow?
Spanglish.
Will it start tomorrow?
When will it start?
I'm sorry?
When will we need to start the test? Will the test phase
Oh,
begin
it won't
tomorrow?
be, no, it won't be tomorrow. So,
Okay.
So pending your approval, so with a vote, a motion to move forward with this concept, and we will start to engage with the company, and we'll start to scale it towards the city, and then we'll put out, you know, through social media and other communications when it is going live, so that we can start using it.
Thank you.
I would ask Mr. Minton if you would share with those that are here that weren't here last time, because it's a pretty minimal cost, if you don't mind sharing.
Oh, sure. So I believe, and Tim, I'm not holding your feet to the fire, but I believe we're at about $6,000 per year.
That's correct.
Vice a dedicated 40-hour-a-week person who would be at the phone, speaking one native language probably, maybe augmented with a second. And 40.
And who can potentially answer 20 calls at a time if you get a big influx.
And that was one of the questions we asked Tim and the company. Is there ever a busy signal? And if 20 calls came in at a time, 20 would be serviced, 21 might get a busy signal, something like that. So $6,000 per year, Vice, $30,000 for a full-time employee at a fully burdened rate that's closer to $50,000 a year, et cetera. So cost avoidance with similar outcomes, cost avoidance of about $45,000, $44,000 a year.
So I'm guessing that you can set this up however you need to, but if you just did it on regular business hours, it could connect somebody with whatever department you needed. But if it was after business hours, that they would have a message like, if this is an emergency, call 911, or if this is, if you've got a water line broke or a main broke or something, then call this number, or you can set that up however you need it to.
Transfer.
In fact, we could set it up to transfer to that other number if they call after hours and it's a broken pipe.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for a point of clarity, we are talking about a 90-day trial. Is that we try it for 90 days and then enter into an agreement, or do we enter into an agreement now with the option of canceling within the first 90 days?
That's a great question. Tim, you want to help?
I'm delighted to do whichever way works the best for you. If you want to do a trial and make sure you like it, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I would hope that we'll build in a good feedback system, not just from the community, but from you folks, so that we can modify it and try and get it to work optimally for you. So maybe we can set up an email or something that people can email to, and we'll try and do some reporting and updates on what we've done with regards to whatever feedback we get.
Okay. So the chair will entertain a motion regarding the virtual phone assistant contract.
I move we move forward with it, with the trial.
Second.
Okay, motion by Counselor DeWitt, second by Counselor Merritt to approve the contract for the virtual phone assistant and authorize the associated expenditure. Is there any discussion? Okay, this item involves legal and financial matters. Ms. Swopes, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Mr. DeWitt,
Yes.
Mr. Merritt,
Yes.
Ms. Ortega,
Yes.
Mr. Brackler,
Yes.
Mr. Self,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
Of all those present, they were all unanimous and in favor. It carries.
Okay. We will now move to city manager report.
I'm already here, so I'll stay.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Continuity of services and city operations have remained fairly stable since the last 2 weeks that we met with the city council. There has been some minor disruptions. You may have noticed today that there was around 9th Street some construction, which bumped into a water line, which caused some interruptions, but other than that, we've been steady state for the last couple of weeks. You may have seen a church be demolished, not a good church, but an old church in Bethlehem, being demolished, and that debris is almost out of there. I apologize if I'm stealing anybody's thunder. Forgive me on that. There's been lots of committees and working groups over the last 2 weeks. Public Works Committee has been working on ongoing road maintenance and drainage priorities, as well as coordinating the streets and fleet routes to address seasonal needs. Water Projects Working Group is taking place in the last 2 weeks, looking at several water projects. A cemetery improvement working group is taking place, and a youth sports committee meeting is taking place in the last 2 weeks. March Town Hall, March 19th, there's community engagement opportunities coming up on the 19th in a couple of days at 6:30 at Portales Senior Center. There's a general community update town hall and open forum. That's at 6:30. In April, there's a business opportunities town hall that we're scheduling. So that'll be here in the Memorial Building at 6 p.m. on April 9th. And this is to give vendors, contractors, small businesses, and others the opportunity to engage with the city to see how to do procurement and business opportunities with the city. We've invited ENMU representation to be there, and they have vowed to be there as well as the county. So this will be an opportunity for folks in the city and surrounding areas to look the representatives in the face and get an idea on how to do business with them. There's an infrastructure capital improvement plan town hall scheduled for April 16th at 5:30 p.m. in this building. The topic will be infrastructure and capital improvement plans and how we organize those and how we're racking and stacking them for the first year and subsequent 4-year plans for the betterment of the city. City continues to move forward on multiple operational fronts, continue to seek grant funding, and apply those funded grants to projects that will help the city out in the future. Subject to your questions, those are the city manager report for this period.
Any questions for Mr. Vinton? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Human Resources.
Yes, sir, thank you. The Human Resource Department has been busy this last month of the quarter. Apologies. Thank you. So for the HR report, this last month of the first quarter has been busy. We've been busy with staffing, working on our numbers to be able to fill vacancies. We're looking at the 23rd, coming up Monday being a full day of new staff members come. I'll let some of the other departments kind of relay their staffing and not take their thunder. We were able to conduct interviews for our HR executive assistants since we were allowed in 2 positions within my department, and right now we've been functioning under 1. We were able to obtain an applicant, so we'll have a new HR executive assistant starting on Monday. So she accepted her conditional offer today, so we're looking forward to having that support account. We've been working on some training. Myself and the library director, Tana, have been in Columbus this week taking a Green Dot training, which is bystander intervention for domestic violence, sexual assault, child trafficking, abuse, things like that. So we're able to have that knowledge relate to us, and then also at the end of this week be able to be equipped to train that, to bring it back to the municipality so that we can equip our staff. So we're looking forward to that opportunity, being able to relay that information. So hopefully we can get a cultural shift within our community of that information so that we can help step in and prevent things that are taking place in our community. But that is all. Thank you.
Okay, in the library.
Last time I was here, I was talking about how we were going to have Read Across America on March 5th, and we did host that. It was a big day for us again. We had over 300 students attend over the course of the day that came on field trips with their classes, And as always, it's always good for us to see their faces, have them get into the library. Sometimes it's for the very first time that they come over, so we have lots of kids sign up for library cards, come back with their families, get cards that afternoon, come back over the next week. And then we also had a birthday party for Dr. Seuss that afternoon after school. We had 137 people come in attendance for the party. It was crazy. They had a big time. Also, with our GOB funds, we bought a storage shed to put in the back of the library. I did get it approved through planning and zoning. And so the Parks Department is going to pour a cement slab for us this week, and then hopefully they'll have it up next week. I'm hoping. I'm really excited about that because I got stuff to put in there. And then, like Jenna said, I'm attending a Green Dot training this week, and that's been really beneficial. And I think we're going to come back with some good resources.
Okay, community services.
Thank you. Luckily, Mr. Bittenell stole one of mine. So yes, the church is almost done with demolition. We're very excited. For jobs, we do have quite a few openings in community services. We started interviews for the job involving planning and zoning. The 2 animal control officer jobs, clerk jobs, have we have offers out from Ms. Jenna. The code enforcement job comes up for its first review on Friday. Do you know of anybody? They still have time to apply. And animal control is actually under construction itself. The bathrooms are getting put in, the washer and dryer is being put in, and then the cat room you guys approved is also under construction. So lots of things.
Okay, and finance.
No changes within our staff in the finance department. We are currently busy working on the upcoming fiscal year budget, so a lot of meetings with the department has been building that budget, which you'll see before you at our workshop with council and finance on April 27th, 28th. We have it slated for 2 days. Last year it only took us 1 day, so we'll see, hopefully. We are busy closing some projects and some grants, and also continue to write grants and submit applications.
Okay, and public works.
Okay, so currently I have 9 vacant positions. Before I have been done, we do some, hire some, do some. Kind of staying steady right there. We had Chris Mendoza and Jay Gallegos attend training in Elmira, New York, from the Kenny Valve Company. They were trained to learn how to properly operate the Kennedy hydrants and valves, and we know which facilities today. So we got do that training. Projects, road work on 9th Street began to load in Chicago. The softball complex parking lot project was delayed for some time, and now it should be getting back on track, and now it has an end date of April 2nd of April. We're hoping to try to get it before the league kicked off there. In infrastructure, we got a new HVAC installed at City Hall, and currently getting close to upgrade some electrical system with Memorial Building.
Okay. Communications dispatch.
Thank you. Currently, we're still staffed at 9 out of 10 people. We did testing for our 10th person last Thursday, so I will be submitting a hire package to HR this week to get our 10th position filled. I had 1 senior dispatcher complete CTO training last week, so now we have 4 CTOs, which are certified training officers that can train our new hires whenever they come on. I have 1 attending the academy the end of April. They'll graduate in May. And then for my numbers for so far for this month, we have processed 853 calls for service as of today, and we have taken 1,344 calls for this.
Okay, and police department.
We are down to almost completely 1 position left. Conditional offers going out to another certified officer on Friday. Hopefully we can squeeze her start date in for before the end of the month, so I can add that one to our LAPS funds. But other than that, so there's just 1 position left open as we currently stand. Next week, on Wednesday, I'll go down to Hobbs for the midpoint of Officer Burrell's academy. He's still there, still doing good. I guess it's not too tough for a Marine. So. Other than that, I finally figured out how to use our traffic study boxes. I've got one of them stuck up now. So as you get those areas where there's concerns of traffic, we put it out there and get the unopinionated actual data for what's going on in there on the street. So they're capable of doing both directions, and they'll tell us volume, direction, time of day, day of week, all the good stuff, so we can target some enforcement if there's areas that are needed. So that's about it for us.
Okay, thank you. Fire department.
Yes, sir. Operationally, we remain fully staffed. We still have one open position to get hired on and train under Patty Gatlin for our retirement later this year. We had a joint training with the water department with hydrants at the fire stations at our last meeting. 7 of our 11 fire apparatus are in service, 4 of our 6 ambulances. 86% of our call volume so far this month has been EMS, with the remaining being fire. Average response times is right around 11 minutes so far this month. Station 2 has responded to 66 calls in the first 16 days of the month. Interesting enough, our highest EMS call by type has been breathing problems, if you can imagine that. And so far this month, we've had 5 grass fires.
Okay. We'll move to councilor comments. Councilor DeWitt.
I'm good.
Okay. Councilor Ortega.
I just want to give a real quick kudos to Miss Kelly on the ordinance 777 and all the work she put into it, because it was much needed, and there's a lot of those properties that really need to be done with, and so she's done a lot of work on it, so thank you.
And great job on the church. Thank you. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Councilor Watkins.
There's a cleanup on the 21st, I believe, out at the softball complex. I know all the league players and coaches and all will be out there getting all of that ready for the following week, I guess, is when their first games are. So if anybody's interested in going out to help, I'm sure they'd appreciate it. I'd be there, but I'm going to be out of town, so that's what, let y'all take care of it.
Councilor Merrick.
I believe it starts at 8 Saturday morning. And also, possibly for our next council meeting, could we have an update on the fire hydrants that were tested? Last time they were tested, that black plastic was put on or whatever, to see where we're at on that. That's it.
Okay. And I will, since you stole something that I was going to say, I'll tell you that it starts at 9.
Oh, okay.
So, but you can go at 8 if you want to.
He's going to be out of town.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I just wanted to make sure everybody was there.
Yeah.
Councilor Merrick.
You gonna give IT a chance to say anything? Chris, you got the mic back there. You need to say anything?
I do not.
Okay. I don't have anything.
Okay.
Great job, everybody.
Yeah. Councilor Rackler.
That's what I was about to say. Things are rolling really well. I'm just proud of all of you, so it's not much we need to say. Good job.
Okay. Councilor Smith.
Thank you.
That's it? Okay. I'm shocked.
Where's that ambulance at?
Threw me a curve there. Now I feel
Keep
bad.
you on your toes.
I feel bad because I have a lot of mayor's comments. So I do wish to commend the ENMU Greyhounds and the Portales Rams for the exciting sports they have given us in the recent weeks and months. Our community is proud of these teams, their coaches, and the student athletes who represent Portales so well. A few days ago, the New Mexico Athletic Association honored the 2001 Boys State Class 3A state champions, the Portales Rams, on the 25th anniversary of their win. And if I'm not mistaken, one of our own Rustin Self was on that team. So, congratulations. On March 6th, the city recognized Employee Appreciation Day for our city employees. I want to acknowledge that we have so many individuals who go above and beyond every single day of the week and much of their work happens quietly and without recognition. So tonight I want to thank them for their professionalism, their dedication, and their commitment to the people of Portales. The work they do keeps our city running, and this city council recognizes and appreciates their service. This Thursday, the 19th, there will be a State of Eastern address at the ENMU Cub Ballroom at 3 p.m. At 6:30 that evening, there will be a town hall at the Senior Center. The following Thursday, the 26th, there will be a public officials open meeting training session at Clovis Community College. Gary told you about this weekend. All of these have potential of a quorum of the city council. However, no city business will be discussed at those. And so now, Mayor's appreciation tonight goes to someone that is going to give me serious grief for even the mention of their name. For years, this person has attended literally every city meeting the city has had. Her knowledge of operations is uncanny, and she has helped bridge the gaps of city operations during so many transition periods. She is so awesome, I'm not even going to ask her to walk up here. I'm going to walk back to her. So
It's good because you'd rather deep.
look at that red face. Mission accomplished. Christine, Chris Mitchell, thank you so much for everything. And now that I'm at a safe distance, I'm going to get myself in a little bit further trouble. I will tell you, this lady is a heck of a radio spokesperson. I walked into KSEL for a radio interview with her, not knowing what to expect, and she just kind of walked in, plopped down her keys, hopped up in the chair, and blasted away into some interesting conversations. I'm so glad that it was radio, because I know my face looked goofy because I'm just sitting there going, do what? As we walked out, I said, okay, what else do you do? Skydiving, flamenco dancing, professional curling? I mean, what are you keeping from us? So, Christine, your knowledge and efforts are very much appreciated. So, with that, this meeting is adjourned.